Namaste, my Zen zebras, my merry mermaids, my merry mermen, I know you're out there, my namaste ninjas, my bella butterflies, my unique unicorns. Okay. Oh, remember Dolphin left? Dolphin, right. Okay. That just reminded me of that. Okay, guys, I feel like I went through a war. But Devin's home, I'm at the store, I'm out of the house for the first time, but Connor is home, so I have my list. But what I want to do first is a big fat ass piece of Palo Santo. Okay? I just need it. I need it. And I'm not burning it around Devin, because, you know, his lungs and the old blood clot. He seems to be doing okay, but he's just very tired today. And I spoke to 2 nurses and a doctor. He has like all these appointments set up for the pulmonary therapist, pulmonary doctor, which is lungs. I forgot about that. The regular primary doctor is March 24th, and then the heart doctor is he's got so many appointments, but I have the folder. I've done a folder and wrote everything down, like, so and I read all the papers. Like, I never really read my own papers when you get out of the hospital, but I read everything that I read. I highlighted, and then I have maybe 3 more papers that I have to still read. Yeah, I was so confused with the medicine, but after he woke up, he slept from like 10:10, which is my mother's birthday, to about 8 o'clock this morning. Actually, I got up first, and he was like in shock. First of all, I was in the bed, because that was a promise I made with God. And if he were to come home, not that I would go to bed at the same time, because let's face it, you know, I can't go to bed at the same time. Sometimes he goes to bed at 8 o'clock. But anyhow, that I would go in there earlier, and I still have time with the dogs on the couch. We watch TV together, but I went in there earlier so that I can, you know, monitor him and see if he was breathing, and because sometimes you don't hear him breathing, and I get so scared, so I have to like look over at him and touch his skin. Now, where they did the IV, there's a big bump, a sore, and it's like, I hope it's not infected. He put a little Neosporin on it today, but he didn't wash it. I kept on telling him, let me wash it and put a hot rag on it yesterday, because he just got out yesterday. Anyhow, long story short, you know, I spoke to so many people about the medicine, because one nurse at one of the hospitals told me that he's not allowed to just take, like, he has a plastic container and he takes his medicine AM and PM, right? He doesn't have any afternoon medicine. So everything is AM and PM, and it's like, I don't know, 14 pills, and then a couple of vitamins that he knows about on the side, which I'm not scared about the vitamins. I'm not scared about the fish oil. I'm scared about the Equidus and Trebadol and all these. I'm not saying it correctly, but I have it all color-coded and listed out. And he was like, you know, I can do that. I know how to do it. He goes, you know, he goes, I just couldn't do it yesterday. He goes, there's only just 3 more things that I have to take that is in addition to his plastic container. But this one nurse that answered the phone, the hotline, said, oh no, you could kill him if he just takes a handful in the morning and a handful at night. And I was like, I'm supposed to like give her 2 hours apart? She was like, oh, some of them have food included, some of them aren't food. And I was like, I understand that. That's why I got up to make his breakfast so that, he would have. And she was like, yeah, but then some of them you're not supposed to take with food. And I was like, oh my God, why do they have these plastic things if, like, I don't understand how you're supposed to count it out every single day? Like, you know how hard that would be? Because I know my sister Karen does my sister Christine's thing, and hers is like, so many layers. Like, she takes a lot of pills. So, even more than Devin. So she says to me, and this is horrible, she says, well, don't worry. If somebody told you that you could do that, and he she goes, men don't listen. They're not going to listen. Even if you tell them not to take a handful, and take them all together, he's still going to do it. He goes, but you can always, if he dies, you could always blame it on whatever doctor told him he was allowed to do that. And she starts laughing. You know what my fear is, and I've been having panic attacks because he was so sick for 11 days. And he did have sepsis. Okay? I read it in the paperwork. That was not told. That was not, even the blood clot really wasn't even talked about. It was like, yeah, he has a blood clot and AFib. Okay, but see you later. You can go home without oxygen. And, yeah, we'll see you at the next doctor's appointment. Like, I don't understand that. Like, oh, somebody has a blood clot. Aren't you supposed to stay in the hospital? Aren't they supposed to, watch you even more? It was almost like kick you in the ass and see you later. So, not that I don't want him home and he wanted to be home. Like, am I the best person to be with him? That's why I was studying everything. I was reading everything as if I was having a final exam. And I got nervous, and I did text my sister Karen. I texted my friend Christine. She's a nurse too. And I called all the numbers that I can call. I even called one number. It said it's 24/7, and they answered. Another said it was 24/7, and they weren't open yet, because I was up before they were open. Okay, I'll do that for Devin. But long story short, long story longer, because this is my me time, and then I'll go, because I have to make him the fresh, his fresh dinner, and it's very small portions, and it's a separate dinner than I have or Connor. And I was trying to explain it to Connor, because Connor was going to make this big meat, this greasy meat thing that he got, and also linguine with clam sauce. But the clam sauce he can't have because it's full of sodium. If he even had it, it would be a joke, because the dietitian spoke to us for an hour and a half. And I'm glad she did. We had a lot of questions, because it's a very hard diet. It's not just a diabetic diet. It's a heart diet. And that's what I was trying to explain to Connor. And he was like, oh, you're not going to be able to go out for breakfast with me? Or grab tacos and breakfast burritos and all this stuff. And, Devin's like in La La Land, because they gave him medication at 8 o'clock in the morning. This was 4 o'clock in the afternoon, or 4:30, and he was still like very, very woozy. Plus he was in the hospital so long, but he's so much a little bit better, alert. He put on a load of laundry. He was going through his mail and his bags and deliveries, and then he got too tired. Yeah, and he wanted to stay in bed at first, and I said, I talked to the nurse, and I said, he's supposed to do a half hour of exercise. And she said, yeah, well, why don't you start with 5 minutes outside, 5 minutes walking. He couldn't make the 5 minutes. He made like 2 minutes, 30 something seconds. And I walked with him, and then he had to go back to sit on the bench. And I said, that's okay. You sit on the bench. I walked back and forth a couple of times. I came back, and then he wanted to walk to the mailbox, and I said, so you did 5 minutes, but not consistently. And he said he was having a little bit trouble breathing. And he's not doing the plastic breathing thing. He did once at 10 o'clock in the morning. So that he's bad. These are the two things he's bad with. He's being good with the food. He doesn't have, seem to have, I made him his breakfast, which was 1 egg, cheddar cheese, 1 piece of bread, cinnamon bread, because he really has to watch. I have to give him only 40 milligrams of carbs for each meal, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It's really hard. Anyhow, I'm just, she said he can go to a restaurant, but he just has to do this app on his phone where he has to see, like, he can order sirloin. I gave him steamed vegetables and fish last night, and then today the egg, and then he also had lunch, which was onions, carrots, broccoli, and little medallions of beef. But anyhow, I'm sure I'm boring everybody, but I feel bad because I haven't been able to do anything, on my channel except give you guys updates, and it's like I'm giving you an update again. But I thank you so much for the prayers. Prayers always work, and I just pray that he can heal and that the blood clot will clear out and he'll be able to exercise and breathe, and have somewhat of a normal life. But anyhow, I just wanted to burn a little Palo Santo and just chillax for a minute. And then I gotta go shopping and get home to make him his meal. I gave him his lunch a little bit late because he doesn't seem to have an appetite. But I told him we have to have the 3 meals a day. He never even asks me for a cookie, a snack, and it's probably all the medicine. But today I gave him, after his lunch that had like the meat and the vegetables mixture, it was small, healthy choice thing. Then I gave him applesauce. I heated it up with a little cinnamon, and I put 2 graham crackers, because they said he can have graham crackers. Not a stack, but a certain number of them. So I asked him, what do you want for dinner? And he says, I don't know. So I'll figure it out. But I love you all, and thank you for being there for me. The Mystic Brady Bunch has been a dream come true for me. I prayed to God for some friends in Texas, because I was very lonely when I moved here, and I tried to make friends with teachers and stuff, at all the jobs I was at a lot of schools, like 10 schools, and I don't have any friends from school, but God gave me my 7,200 people. And if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. But anyhow, yeah, so I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. And those of you who I've met, and good friends that I've had for 50 years, or 10 years, or 5 years, or 6 years, 7 years, whatever it is, they've all been texting me too, and I appreciate it. And that's all I could say. I'm just sorry, that I can't do my readings. I had a whole bunch of videos that I was supposed to do about world predictions, and I had those papers ready to go, but then Devin got sick and we had to go to the hospital, and somehow that wasn't important anymore. So, I love you all. Thank you for being there. Thank you for being a friend, and for praying for Devin. And if you can, continue praying. Thank you guys. Love you. Namaste.